The USS Vanguard sliced through the Pacific's restless waves like a shadow in the night. It was 1944, the height of World War II, and the submarine had just surfaced under a canopy of stars, its sleek hull glistening with salt water. On the conning tower, two sailors stood watch, their silhouettes etched against the moonlit horizon. Lieutenant Alexander Hale, with his chiseled jaw and eyes as deep as the ocean, gripped the railing tightly. Beside him was Ensign Sophia Reed, her auburn hair tied back under her cap, her gaze steady despite the chill wind whipping across the deck. Alexander and Sophia weren't just crewmates. They were confidants in this underwater world of steel and silence. Alexander, at 32, had left behind a life in Boston, a wife named Elena and a young daughter, Lily, whose laughter haunted his dreams. Sophia, 28, was a rarity in the Navy, a codebreaker turned sonar specialist, driven by the loss of her brother in Pearl Harbor. Their names, chosen by fate or perhaps by parents who dreamed of grandeur, suited them perfectly. Alexander, evoking ancient conquerors, and Sophia, wisdom personified. As the submarine hummed forward at a steady 10 knots, the deck vibrated beneath their boots. "You ever think about what we're really fighting for, Alex?" Sophia asked, her voice barely audible over the engine's low growl. She leaned against the periscope housing, her uniform damp from the spray. Alexander stared at the endless sea, his mind drifting to Lily's 5th birthday, which he'd missed while submerged for weeks. "Every damn day. Soph, it's not the flags or the medals, it's the people waiting back home. Elena writes about Lily learning to ride her bike. Says she's got my stubborn streak." He chuckled softly, but it carried the weight of unshed tears. Sophia nodded, her own memories surfacing like bubbles from the deep. "My brother James, he was the one who taught me to listen. Not just hear, but really listen. That's why I'm good at sonar. I hear the ghosts in the water." She paused, scanning the horizon for enemy silhouettes. The war had turned the ocean into a graveyard, with U-boats lurking like predators. Their shift had started routine, but tension hung in the air. The Vanguard was on a covert mission to intercept a Japanese convoy carrying vital supplies. Captain Elias Thorne, a grizzled veteran with a name that commanded respect, had briefed them earlier. "We're the tip of the spear. One wrong move and we're all at the bottom." Below deck, the crew bustled in the cramped quarters. The air was thick with the scent of diesel and sweat. Petty Officer Ethan Black, a young engineer from Seattle, tinkered with the ballast controls. Ethan, with his boyish charm and name meaning strong, was the heart of the engine room. At 24, he dreamed of post-war life, marrying his sweetheart, Isabella, whose letters smelled of lavender. As Alexander and Sophia stood sentinel, a faint ping echoed through the hull. Sophia's eyes widened. "Contact! Bearing 045, closing fast," she radioed below, her voice calm but urgent. The alarm blared, red lights flashing. "Dive, dive," Captain Thorne bellowed from the control room. The submarine nosed down, water crashing over the deck as Alexander and Sophia scrambled inside. The hatch sealed with a resounding clang, and the world outside vanished into darkness. Submerged, the Vanguard went silent, running. The crew held their breath as depth charges rumbled in the distance, Japanese destroyers hunting them. Alexander manned the periscope, his hands steady. "Two cans up top dropping eggs," he whispered. Sophia at sonar. "They're bracketing us. We need to evade south." Ethan in engineering fought to keep the boat level as pressure built. The hull creaked like an old ship in a storm. Pumps holding, but if we take a hit... Hours blurred into a tense dance with death. The submarine twisted through thermoclines, dodging explosions that shook the frames. One charge detonated close, rattling teeth and bursting pipes. Water sprayed in the torpedo room and shouts echoed, "Flooding! Seal it!" Alexander rushed forward, his mind on Lily. He helped secure the breach, water soaking his boots. "Hold her together, boys," he yelled, his voice a beacon in the chaos. By dawn's faint light filtering through reports, they evaded. The Vanguard resurfaced briefly to recharge batteries. Alexander and Sophia climbed back to the tower, the air fresh after the stale confines below. "You saved us back there, Soph," Alexander said, gratitude in his eyes. She smiled faintly. "We save each other. That's what this is." But the mission wasn't over. Intelligence reported the convoy ahead, guarded heavily. As the sun rose, painting the sea gold, they knew the real test loomed. The USS Vanguard plunged back into the abyss, its crew steeling for the assault. Alexander paced the control room, maps spread before him. We hit the lead transport first, cripple their supplies. Captain Thorne nodded. Reed, keep ears sharp. Hale, torpedoes ready. Sophia hunched over her console, the green glow illuminating her focused face. Pings grew louder, the convoy's screws churning the water. 5 ships escorts flanking. We're in range. Fire tubes 1 and 2, Thorne ordered. The submarine shuddered as torpedoes streaked away. Silence, then distant booms. Hits! Lead ships going down, Sophia reported, triumph in her voice. But retaliation was swift. Destroyers turned, depth charges raining like thunder. The Vanguard dove deeper, past test depth. Hull plates groaned, rivets straining. In engineering, Ethan battled a leaking seal. Pressure's spiking, we can't hold much longer. Water flooded in, cold and relentless. Alexander grabbed a toolkit. I'm coming down. He descended the ladder, finding Ethan knee-deep. Together they wrestled the valve shut, muscles burning. An explosion rocked them sideways. Lights flickered, then died. Emergency reds cast eerie shadows. Direct hit aft. Someone screamed. The submarine listed, descending uncontrollably. Blow ballast! Thorne commanded, but systems failed. Sophia rushed to the radio room, sparks flying from damaged gear. Mayday, mayday, USS Vanguard under attack. Position. Alexander found her there, smoke choking the air. Soph, we need to surface. She shook her head. Not yet. I have to get the word out. Another charge detonated, hull breaching in the stern. Water roared in, claiming the engine room. Ethan's voice crackled over intercom. Flooding critical. Abandon. Static. Alexander's heart sank. Ethan! He fought through corridors, water rising to his waist. In the chaos, he reached engineering. Ethan was trapped, debris pinning his leg. Go, Alex. Save the others. No man left behind. Alexander growled, heaving the beam. But the water surged, pulling them under. Sophia appeared, diving in to help. Together! With combined strength, they freed Ethan, dragging him to the control room. The Vanguard was dying, depth gauge spinning. All hands, prepare to abandon ship, Thorne ordered. They surfaced amid enemy fire, waves crashing over the deck. Sailors scrambled out, inflating rafts. Cannon shells whistled overhead. Alexander, Sophia, and a limping Ethan stood on the conning tower. The submarine rolling. Jump, Alexander urged. Sophia hesitated, looking back. The codes, I can't leave them. They're not worth your life. But she dashed below. A shell struck nearby, shrapnel flying. Alexander followed, finding her grabbing classified books.
Sophia now.
As they emerged, a wave swept them off. In the churning sea, Alexander held her hand.
Don't let go!
Ethan bobbed nearby, weakened. Tell Isabella, I love her. Rescue came at dawn, Allied planes spotting flares, but not all survived. Captain Thorne went down with the ship, his last act sealing the hatch to save the rest. In the hospital ship, Alexander awoke to Sophia by his bed. We made it, she whispered, tears streaming. Ethan didn't. His sacrifice echoed in their hearts. Years later, Alexander returned home to Elena and Lily, now a spirited teen. He named his newborn son Ethan, honoring the strong. Sophia visited often, her wisdom guiding them. The war had taken much, but in the depths they found unbreakable bonds. Standing on a pier, watching submarines glide. Alexander thought of that night. We stood on a moving submarine, he told Lily, and faced the storm together. The ocean whispered back. A powerful reminder of duty, love, and the human spirit's depth.